Hey everybody, Sharon here from GameYak.com. Here we are today back in the Halo Infinite campaign, going for yet another type of open world collectible. We are going for all of the propaganda towers, which will get us the off the air achievement. Starting out on the first island, we're going to start out in the upper right on the main road right here. The propaganda towers are going to look like these. You are going to get the count for the achievement by destroying them. So just make sure you attack them like any other enemy, and the best way to destroy them is to use an explosive weapon to blow them up in a single hit. After you take out your first one, you should be good for the Please Shut Up achievement for 10 gamer score. Circling the island over here to the eastern side, you're going to find this one atop this staircase of hexagons. Make sure you just head up, and then you can blow this one up from far away if you don't feel like walking. Then we're going to go over here to Fob Foxtrot. From the Fob's vehicle spawner, we're going to turn all the way around, and then we're just going to head in this straight line, and you can find this propaganda tower over this ridge right here. So make sure you cross this path, and then make sure you get over these rocks, and then you should be able to find it among the trees right over here. Just blow it up, and then we can move on to our next one. Moving on to this one's going to be in the center of the first island right here on this particular mountain range. So make sure you look for it over here. It's going to be in this little valley right here between these two mountains. Make sure you blow this one up from the high ground. Then moving all the way down here to the southern part of this island, this one's going to be atop all of these hexagons, so make sure you grapple hook on over. Of course, having access to a flying vehicle is always going to make these types of collectibles super duper easier, so make sure you take advantage of one of those if you have access to one. But make sure you climb on up, and then make sure you blow this one up, and then it's going to be on to the next one, and then we can move on. This one does happen to be the last one for the first island, so make sure you get the bridge extended, and then we can head over to the second island. We're going to stop by Fob Echo, which is going to be the closest fob to the bridge connecting the two islands. This one's going to be right outside of the fob, right here on this cliffside. You should be able to see it from the fob, but make sure you head on over there so you can get a clearer shot at it, and make sure you blow it up. So you can blow it up from the road, or if you want a better shot, you can climb up right next to it, and then blow it up by standing next to it. Once you take care of that one, we're going to head to the eastern side of the fob. We're going to head into the hills right here. At the top of this little rock face should be this clearing, and on top of it should be the next propaganda tower. You can see the tower in the background right there, and then the spire in the background on this side. Make sure you take care of the propaganda tower, though, right over here, and that's going to be another one down. This one's going to be over here at the western side. You're going to have this little smaller island off of the western side of the big island. Make sure you grapple hook on over where you can. So make sure you try to find the smallest part in the gap where you can make the crossing. Then head up the hill, and then you should be able to find it atop the highest point on this little sliver of an island. And then we should be able to get this one to our collection. Moving on back to the mainland, we're going to have this one atop this mountaintop. Make sure you climb up here. It's not too bad of a hike. And this one's going to be right here out in the open, pretty obvious, atop this mountainous pass right here. And then make sure you blow this one up, and then we can move on to the next one, slightly north of that right here. We're going to be in some grassy hills, and this one's going to be right here at this tree line. Make sure you get this one, and that's another one to the collection. We're going to move over here to the center of the island where Fob Charlie is. From the vehicle spawner of this fob, make sure you turn to the right, and then we're going to head down here. This one's going to be super close to the base, so not too bad of a walk. Make sure you head over here to where the trees are, and then make sure you get past the main road. You are going to have this little encampment right here, and then in this set of trees is going to be your propaganda tower right over here. Make sure you blow this one up, and then on to the next one. So if you stay on the road, you should be able to follow it, and then on the main road is going to be this little rock right here, and then on top of it is going to be a bunch of Banished, but they are going to be protecting this propaganda tower, so make sure you blow it up underneath them. Then continue to follow the road until it takes you up to this cliffside. This one's going to be a little hard to spot, so this is going to be the middle of this mountain face right here. There's going to be the spine of the map for reference, and you want to make sure you are in the middle of the mountain face again in terms of elevation. It's a little hard to see from the map, but make sure you just keep an eye out for these trees, and your propaganda tower will be on this ridge. This one's going to be very close to Fob Bravo, so make sure you make the jump over. From the vehicle spawner, make sure you turn it to your right, and this one's just going to be downhill. So take the path down, you shouldn't miss it. It's going to be off to your left slightly in this big open area right over here. So make sure you grab this one on your way down from the base. Then it's going to be back to the center-ish of the island, where you can find this one, also close to the main road. Make sure you look for this fork. And off of the bend is going to be this Banished encampment with a propaganda tower to protect, so make sure you blow that one up. Making our way further up north, we have Fob Alpha right here. From its vehicle spawner, we are going to turn to the right, and then we're going to look downhill. And just over these rocks is going to be it right here. You can actually see it from the actual fob, so this one's super duper close. So take advantage of the ability to fast travel to its vicinity and blow it up accordingly. Next one up is going to be up here towards the northern part of the island. You're going to have the northern mountain right here, and this one's going to be on the northern part of its base. So look for it right here. This one's kind of out in the open as well, so take advantage of that. Then we're going to move further north to closer to the edge. You are going to have this one right here. So again, this one's going to be out in the open, so easy to spot from far away and blow it up accordingly. After taking care of those two more mountainous ones, we're going to head back onto the main road and then get this one. You're going to come across this roadblock on the main road, and then right next to it is going to be your propaganda tower. So thankfully a one that's going to be closer to ground level. Then we're going to head up to the northern part of the island, look for this giant structure right here, and the propaganda tower is going to be on this rock. Make sure you blow that one up. Then you want to make sure you go further north. This one's going to be right here, just due south of Outpost Tremonius. Stick to the main road, and you should be able to see it right here. Another one that's super obvious. Thankfully, a good chunk of the propaganda towers are going to be off of the road, so you should be able to use a ground vehicle to get a good chunk of them. This one's also going to be in the north. Make sure you look for this small mountain range, and this one's going to be right here up on this cliff. Make sure you take this one out. And to wrap up the second island, we're going to head down to Fob Delta. Feel free to fast travel, and then from its vehicle spawner, we're going to turn to this corner, and then we're going to head downhill and then get this one. This should wrap it up for the second island, so feel free to grab a flying vehicle as we are going to move on. Or if you're doing this as you're doing the story, make sure you do wait a while until you get access to the third island as part of the mission Pelican Down. You're going to have your first propaganda tower next to the easternmost gun battery. There's the gun battery for reference. Make sure you look for this enemy tower right here. This one's going to be right behind that tower, so make sure you look for it and blow it up accordingly. Next one up is going to be in the northern mountain range of the third island. It's going to be right here on the edge of the island. Very obvious. Make sure you take this one out, and then we can move on. As you can see, this one is on the tippy topmost part of the edge of the north, so make sure you grab that one. Keep following the mountain range until it starts dipping down towards the westernmost gun battery. You can see it in the background there for reference, but as the hill starts to descend, you should be able to grab this one on your way back down right over here. Again, this one's out in the open, so pretty obvious. Blow it up, and then it's going to be on to the next one right here in the southern part of the island. So this one's going to be close-ish to the elevator that takes you up to the westernmost gun battery. Right here on the main road, can't miss it, and it's actually on the actual road instead of off to the side, so you should be able to grab this one as it is kind of a roadblock. So blow that one up, and then it's going to be on to the fourth and final island. We're going to start out in the bottom right, as that's where the game starts you out in the story when it's your first time here. This one's going to be on this hexagon ridge right here. Make sure you spot it and then blow it up from below, or go up to it and blow it up from up close. Either choice is yours. As long as you get them blown up, you should be good. Once you get to this one, we're going to slowly work our way east around the fourth island. So we're going to capture Fob November. From its vehicle spawn point, you want to make sure you take a left and then head downhill here. And this one's going to be a little bit of a walk away, but keep dropping downhill, and then at the bottom of your descent is going to be your propaganda tower right over here. So make sure you grab this one from the high ground to save yourself the walking, and then on to the next one over here. This one's going to be on the main mountain of the eastern part of the fourth island. You're going to be on the mountain trail. This one's going to be right here. This one actually doesn't involve too much climbing, so thankfully you should be able to get it while you are walking on the road. After getting that one, we're going to cross over to the center part of the 4th island and then grab this one. This one's going to be at this triangular peak. It's going to be right here, so make sure you head into the valley and then blow this one up right here as the hill starts climbing. So look for that peak and it should be in its shadow. After that one, we're going to continue down to the center of the middle part of the 4th island. You're going to have this big forest right here as a reference, and then in the big old valley is going to be these foothills, and then you should be able to find it among all of these banished enemies. So take that one out, and then it's going to be further down south we go. This one's going to be right here on this cliff face. Again, another one that's pretty out in the open, so make sure you take this one out right here among all of the enemies. Then on to the next one. This one's going to be right here in the bottom left corner of the center part of the 4th island. Look for this area right here, and then it should be towards the edge of the map right here on this ridge, and then make sure you take this one out. Next one up is going to be close to Fob Hotel. It's a little far away from the Fob, even though it looks very close on the map, as it is going to take a ton of climbing. It's going to be right here on the hexagon wall. Highly recommend bringing a flying vehicle for this one, as you are going to have to cross this gap right here. Although you can grapple hook over if you want to by going around, so make sure you take this way. But again, having a flying vehicle is going to be the path of least resistance, so do procure one if you have access to it. If not, you are going to have to grapple hook all the way up. But once you do finally manage to stumble your way across here, make sure you scale the ridge and then get over the cliff face, and eventually you should be able to find it right over here in this grassy area. So make sure you blow it up, and then on to the next one we go. Onwards to the upper right part of the center part of the island, you're going to have the trail right here. Look for these two summits, and then you can climb up to the valley between the two. And then in this valley is going to be your propaganda tower right over here. So this one's pretty obvious once you find the landmark. Blow it up, and then moving on to the next one after this. This one's going to be right here in the upper part, connecting the center to the left part of the island. Make sure you scale your way across all of these cliffs right here. Be very careful not to fall down, as it is pretty gappy right here. But you are going to make your way up here, and then atop this ridge is going to be your propaganda tower overlooking everything. So make sure you blow this one up, enjoy the view, and then on to the left part of the island. We're going to start in the northern part and then work our way down. This one's going to be at the northern edge of the 4th island right here. It's going to be off the main path, so make sure you follow it, and then you should be able to spot it. Once you grab that one, we're going to work our way over here. This is next to the bridge connecting the 4th island back to the 1st island. Again, you should be able to spot it from the road. It's going to be right here next to the edge of the island, so make sure you grab this one when you do spot it from the road. And then after grabbing that, we're going to work our way down south. This is actually the last one in the game, so tower number 40. Once you spot it, it's going to be right here on this cliff face right here. We're going to blow it up, and then once we have all of them blown up, we should be good for our achievement. So make sure you take care of that, and then once all of the towers are taken care of, our achievement should pop. There it is. This one is going to be for 20 gamer score. Also, do keep in mind all of the propaganda towers are going to count for the Valor activities. So if you do happen to have the rest of the side missions done in the form of all of the FOBs, outposts, and squads, you should be good for the Who is Max Valor achievement for 40 gamer score after getting all of the towers with those. And that's all there is to it.